Hello, we are about to go through the preliminary material for paper one. This is for the Core Maths 2025 exam. So current cohorts that will be sitting in the summer. We're looking at the first paper today, preliminary material. I can't put any of it on the screen. So if you've gone through mocks and you've used my videos for the 2024 paper, you'll know that I haven't put anything on screen and I'm not able to do that. But I do have it in front of me, and I suggest that you go through this with your preliminary material in front of you. You're using your calculators, and we're going through our questions. So our first part is a bit of a case study about wind turbines. Make sure you've read through it. We've got talk about wind speed, we've got talk about capacity, blade size, calculating power output, and electricity usage. After that, on page 4, we've got the income tax and national insurance details. First of all, with the income tax, the thing to note is that there is a reduction in your personal allowance for every £2 above £100,000 that you earn. So your income will go down. Your personal allowance will go down as your income gets that high. I wish I had an income over £100,000, let me tell you. And then the next part is the national insurance. So that's pretty much the preliminary material. Look through it. There is a paper, I think, that has a similar tax thing happen. It might be 2020, where they have that similar reduction in the personal allowance. So have a look at that. That makes me think that there will be a question that's got somebody's salary well over £100,000. Okay, let's get into this. So the way that this is designed is so that you can pause the video and have a go. And then once you've paused it and you've answered it, you hit play again, and then you can see your answers. So this first question is just really, they're all to get you used to the preliminary material. So it says calculating rotor diameter. If a wind turbine has a blade of lengths 80 meters, what is the rotor diameter? All right, so pause the video, have a go. Okay, so it says on page 2, just before we get to wind speed, a turbine with blades lengths of 70 meters has a rotor diameter of 140. So because this has got a blade length of 80, we just multiply that by 2, which I'll do once my screen decides it wants to write. Hello, there we go. 80 times by 2, and that's 160 meters. Okay, question number 2. Just make sure I've got the whole question there. Yes, I have. So wind speed efficiency. It says, explain how wind speed affects the efficiency of a wind turbine and identify the optimal range for operation. So have a look in the wind speed section and see if you can find the answer to that. Pause the video, have a go. Okay, so our answers. Wind speed affects efficiency as follows. So if it's too low, the turbine won't turn. Turbine will not turn, and therefore they won't get any energy. If it's too high, the turbine turns too fast and it may become damaged. I think I've spelled that right. And would be switched off. So what we might find, they might put a graph in and they might say it can only be switched on if it's between this speed, and the graph will have the speeds throughout the day. So you'd have to work out when it was turned on and then perhaps try to work out how much energy it's used by using a calculating power output section with the formula. So that's something that could come up. So this could be graphed, so make sure that you are using your line graph for that. Okay, so there's my answer. I've put the answers in. Always thinking. Right, here we go. Question 3: capacity factor calculation. So a wind turbine has a rated capacity of 2 megawatts and operates at a capacity of 30%. How much power does it actually produce over a year? So this is a Fermi estimation question. So I want you to pause the video, have a go, and then I'll scroll down and show you the hint. Okay, the hint. So we're scrolling down for the hint. Actual power produced is going to be the rated capacity times by the capacity factor. So let me just zoom out a little bit. So we've got rated capacity of 2 megawatts and our capacity factor is 30%. Pause the video, have a go if you needed that hint. And here we go down to our answers. So the actual power produced over the course of a year. So we've got 0.6 megawatts times by 24 hours per day times by 365 days per year, which gives us 5,256 megawatts or megawatt hours. Where does 0.6 come from? It's this calculation at the top. So the 2 megawatts that was given to us in the question multiplied by 0.3 for the percentage of efficiency gives us that 0.6. So we'll just be following these simple formulas in order to come up with a calculation. All right, question 4, the impact of blade size. So this will be the bottom left of page 2. Discuss how increasing the blade size of wind turbines affects its electricity generation. So pause the video, have a go. Okay, so answer, increasing the blade size increases the rotor diameter, allowing the turbine to sweep a larger area and generate more electricity. And then I'm going to say to a limit, because you can't have these turbines becoming so big that you just can't make them. Like imagine having a diameter of 5 miles, it just wouldn't happen. It wouldn't be strong enough to stand up. So the sort of whole thing will fall down. So to a point, the bigger it is, the more electricity that it can generate. All right, we're now going into the income tax and the national insurance section. Now, teachers, I do have a spreadsheet available on the TES. I feel really bad because I've been selling it just to sort of try and buy myself a coffee. If you are a teacher and you are watching this video, I have a Facebook group for teachers to join. So please join the Level 3 Core Maths group, and sort of details of where those are available to purchase. You can find it's only like a £5, but all you do is put in a salary and it will work out all of these things. We're going to be first of all working out the personal allowance reduction. So calculate the personal allowance for an individual with an income of £110,000. So you're going to be looking at page 4. And it says for every £100,000, for every £2 above £100,000, they're going to have a reduction of £1. So pause the video and have a go. Okay, so for question number 6, we've got £100,000, which is going to be subtracted from the £110,000, which gives us £10,000 over. Now, we then divide that by 2, which means that a £5,000 reduction will occur to the personal allowance. Now, the personal allowance is 12,570. So that's the amount of money you can earn before you're taxed, unless you earn over this threshold. So we're going to subtract that 5,000 away from it, and that's going to give us a personal allowance of 7,570. So that first amount of money is tax-free, and then everything over that will be taxed. Okay, question 7. Income tax. Determine the total income tax payable for an individual with a gross annual income of £90,000. So pause the video and have a go. So what we're going to be doing here is, first of all, subtract from the 90,000 the personal allowance. Now, they've not earned over £100,000, so we are going to deduct the 12,570. So 90,000 take away 12,570 gives us 77,430. That's taxable. Now, this is going to get split into 20% and into 40%. So it says in the prelim up to 37,700 is in the 20% bracket. Now, I'm just going to subtract that value from my taxable amount. That's a 0. 37700. So take away 37700. And that gives us 39730. That's the amount that's going to be left over into the 40% bracket. So that's the amount of money that goes in there. We don't earn over 100,000. We've not had to reduce the personal allowance. It says income after allowances above 125,140 is in the 45% bracket, so we don't need to consider that. Therefore, I'm going to times that one by 0.4 because it's in my calculator. So 39730, because it's just jumped out of my calculator. 15892, and then 37700 times by 0.2 is at 7540. Finally, add them together, which I've not done because I've missed a button on my calculator, and we get 23,432 to be paid in tax. Okay, question 7 done. Should have something below here that will explain it as well. We got it right. Happy days. Right, question 8, national insurance contributions. Calculate the national insurance contributions for an individual with a monthly income of £5,000. Right, so pause the video and have a go. Okay, so I don't like this question because I like to do things annually, but we're going to do it with the monthly amount. So we've got 0% from the prelim, which is up to 1,048. In our 8% bracket, it's normally 12. I almost wrote 12. That's the biggest change that we've got. It's not up to. It's going to be from 1048 to 4189. So 4189 take away 1048. That is 3141 in there. That's going to be multiplied by 0.08. And then everything above that is then charged at 2%. So 5,000 take away 4189 gives me 811. And then the 811 is going to be multiplied by 0.02. 16.22. We've got 3141 times by 0.08. 251.28. Add them together. And we get 267.5. And that's per month. Okay, that's the end of the video. I'm just going to address a couple of things. Yes, I thought question 5, when I created these questions, wasn't good enough, so I didn't put it in. So we do skip from question 4 to question 6. These kind of questions are brilliant. I'm probably going to give myself away here, but do use ChatGPT to say, hi, I'm a student. I am studying level 3 AQA core maths. Please, can you create some example questions for me to complete on income tax, on national insurance? The AI is pretty good and it will create something that's quite valuable to you. But of course, go through past papers, watch the videos that I've got on the previous papers. Spot my errors, always a good sign as well. But yeah, good luck for your exams. This is the paper 1 walkthrough, and I'll also have a paper 2 one coming out in the near future. Bye-bye.